Hello, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. Silver will have its day. Silver has been used as money for millennia. And because of that, it has been very controversial throughout history in pretty much every phase. A more noted example in recent history, when in comparison, but really it's been a long time ago, is the free silver movement, in which the populist William Jennings Bryan is made known for, especially in his famed Cross of Gold speech in favor of what's known as the free silver movement, which essentially would be a bimetallic monetary system where you would have many more free silver coins, which was very popular in the Midwest farmers and the Deep South with the cotton industry. That would sort of and essentially go alongside with gold. It really never took off, but nonetheless, silver is money and it is valued and it has been used as such for many, many years. And we see that the controversy kind of continues to this day with a lot of different opinions on where silver is and how it should reflect in relation to gold. And as most of you know, I have kind of shifted my focus, especially in 2017, to acquire a bit more gold. And I posted videos about silver. And some of those videos could be interpreted as that I am not as excited about silver as I once was. But really, it's not the truth. I just like to take a look at a realistic example of where silver is and in terms of its importance, especially in my acquisitions, because I have, compared to gold, I have a lot more silver than I do gold. In fact, my ratio of silver to gold is much stretched out much further than the actual ratio that is today. And that ratio is somewhere around 80-1. But nonetheless, if you look at silver, we see that it's kind of languished in terms of the actual price in the last couple of years. This community here is in the YouTube community, and those of us who interact and show silver purchases and talk about it here stemmed mainly due to the explosion of price in 2011. And there's people are saying that silver is going to come back in a storm-like manner and really explode in price in the coming years based off of the supply and demand. But if you look at the data from the Silver Institute, which some criticize as being pro-silver, but you can see how the price has languished regardless of the demand. In fact, we can see that the last few years, the actual deficits of silver have decreased, especially the last year that data is recorded from the chart I'm looking at for 2017. But the time where there was the greater deficit, about 5-6 times more, the price per ounce was much less. And if you can say, well, that's just a delayed reaction to what it would be the next year, once those deficits were realized, well, it only increased not but $1 an ounce more. So it's hard to gauge the actual price structure of silver based off of noted supply and deficits from one year to the next, because back in 2011 and 2012, when the price was very high, there was more production that year and there was a surplus, but yet the price per ounce was almost double what it is now. So it all really boils down to demand, physical demand, in any particular side. So it's kind of tough, and there's so many different factors at play with regards to silver and as to where it is. But I think it's we'd be dishonest with ourselves if we don't see the realities of such. So when I say that silver will have its day, let me explain a little bit further, because I am a fan of silver, and I even had my name put on a round as such. And I celebrate silver in this particular round. And by the way, if you have this round, you paid a premium for it, and you probably won't get that premium back, but that's all right. But you have all different kinds of examples of silver here before us here. And the question is, well, is it a depreciating asset, or has it become worthless? Is it a lost cause? People that say that, I don't think they truly understand what it means to have these metals. And really, the same thing could be said for gold, just on a different level. Gold is different in as that it does not necessarily, it is treasured, so it's not quite as volatile in price, although I have seen some pretty volatile action with gold price as well, one way or the other. And so it's kind of hard to compare in that manner. But if we take a look at silver prices adjusted for inflation over the past 100 years, we see that really silver is up now on the average than it was throughout history. Actually, it's up essentially the same place it was about 100 years ago. So it's averaging about the same price as it was 100 years ago, and with a lot of volatility in between. If you take out the crazy highs, such as the Hunt brothers cornering the market and the 2011 insane price increases there, if you take those out, it's actually up in between. It's like a scooped out graph adjusted for inflation. So we haven't seen these highs since 100 years ago in silver price adjusted for inflation. So in a sense, we kind of in a way are seeing its day already. But I still believe it's priced lower, or it's undervalued, let's say. I believe silver is undervalued. By how much? I don't know. But if you go back to a period when I first started accumulating silver, it was under $10 an ounce, and it fluctuated from here and there. And actually, some of its lows were around just after 9/11. Both gold and silver were very low. Prices of gold and silver in real dollars back then was about $5 an ounce for silver and $300 an ounce for gold. So it's all a matter of perspective. And I take a look at real dollar increases till today. Well, from $5 to $17, hey, I'm coming out ahead for silver I've bought back then. Now, obviously, I've bought silver at all different price levels. I've purchased some silver, not quite as much, at $40 an ounce, $50, $45 an ounce. It happens. But, understanding silver for what it is, these precious metals, whether it comes in a form such as a premium bar where you're going to pay a little bit more over spot for the beauty of this, or this Pamp Dragon bar, you're paying a lot per ounce for the beauty. Will I recover those premiums? I don't know. It just depends if I know how to sell it and know people that will want to pay the price for it. I'm not worried about that. I collect these things because I like them. I like the fact that there is a big selection to be made from in purchasing silver. In some cases, I'm okay with paying some of the premium. Or government-issued bullion, where you're going to get at least a small, most of spot price for it. At the very least, you'll get most of spot price back for these pieces. And it fluctuates from year to year. But I look at it this way. It's a savings account. And it's much harder to get rid of this savings account, as Blanche P. had mentioned in a comment, the live stream recently. It's better to have something in a savings that's harder to spend. So in other words, it's tough. You can't just take these pieces down and buy groceries with them, or buy an iPad with them, or iPod, or an iPhone, or any electronic device. You just can't take this and do this with. You have to actually convert it into cash, make the effort to sell it, And then maybe that's part of the reason why I have accumulated these pieces, because I'm too lazy to sell them, right? But I know that they're there if I need them, in all different forms. And even this poured silver bar that I did, that's not stamped or anything, you know, it can be assayed and tested to make sure it's genuine. And eventually I will get, you know, it'll be sold or kept or what have you. It's silver. It's solid. It's in the hand. And there it is. But silver is special, and I believe it will have its day. And by having its day, I'm not necessarily meaning that it's going to explode in price. It may never explode in price, but that's okay. Holding it, it will maintain its intrinsic value, and that intrinsic value is somewhere above the manipulated price, and somewhere probably above market price. At least right now, because the market price is affected by the manipulated price. We know there's manipulation. I just don't believe that manipulation is as bad as some people say it is. I believe that the natural market forces are more heavily at play with silver prices than the manipulated prices. But again, it's not saying that it's not there. The manipulation is not there. So in the end, you hold on to it as a hedge, as a savings against inflation. And so in that way, when you think of the dollar and whatever currency your country is, it's going to hold true, and it's going to preserve its value. Whereas those currencies themselves are depreciating assets, silver is not. Silver will maintain, at least on an average, its value. We just have to be patient with it, and we have to hold it. For me, I'm accumulating a little bit more gold, because storing silver is also an issue if you get too much of it. I think Silver Slacker can probably attest to that with the storage of massive amounts of silver. Whereas gold, you can hold a lot more value in a smaller package. I love gold. It takes a lot more discipline to accumulate it and saving up for it, because, you know, the price can fluctuate rapidly, or at least enough to timing purchases based off the money you have to be able to spend. Whereas silver, you can make purchases more frequently and time those markets better. And people have done that. People have done that a lot better than I have in terms of silver. So there you have it. Silver will have its day. And then some people believe that silver is already having its day right now. But regardless, hold on to it, enjoy it, sell it if you need to, accumulate more if you need to, but appreciate it for what it is. And I will always appreciate silver for what it is, as a diversified part of the portfolio. And it doesn't mean that people can't or shouldn't invest in other investments, but think of this as a hedge rather than investment. Think of this as a savings, and enjoy the designs on the different. Look at all the different variety you have here. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. And it's not even cold outside. Well, it is outside, but it's not cold in here, so there's no icebergs in here, but there's plenty of silver. So enjoy it. And I would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for watching, and encourage you to please rate, comment, and subscribe.